Marina was 37 years old. She lived in Valencia, worked for an international logistics company, and had long been used to relying only on herself. Of her close relatives, she had only her mother and her younger sister left. Their father had died when the girls were still in elementary school, so all responsibility for the family fell on their mother, Anna. The age gap between the sisters was significant. The younger one, Clara, was born 9 years after Marina. While Marina grew up early, learned to be independent, and at 22 left her hometown of Burgos, first moving to Madrid and later to another city altogether, Clara grew up under her mother's constant care. Anna devoted her life to her younger daughter, trying to shield her from any difficulties, solving problems for her, stepping in whenever needed, feeling sorry for her, and supporting her endlessly. Marina chose a different path. She worked hard, gradually built a career, bought an apartment in Valencia with a mortgage, and by her age had almost paid it off completely. She never started a family, but she felt comfortable with her life. She had friends, traveled, enjoyed stability, and felt that her life followed her own rules. Clara, on the other hand, lived with their mother until she was 30. She occasionally took on temporary jobs, often quit what she started, and always found reasons why the time wasn't right to become independent. A few months earlier, she had finally moved out to live with her boyfriend, Daniel. In essence, she had simply replaced one source of support with another. When Clara moved out, Anna suddenly found herself alone. For the first time in many years, the apartment became quiet. There was no one to cook for, no one to take care of, no one to call 10 times a day. Anna quickly felt emptiness and confusion. She didn't know how to live for herself. Her entire life for decades had revolved around her children. 6 months later, she decided to talk to Marina. She called and almost immediately suggested an idea that, in her opinion, would suit everyone: to sell the old family apartment in Burgos and move in with her older daughter. She proposed investing part of the money, saving part of it, and spending the rest on traveling together. Anna promised to take care of the household, cook, and look after the apartment so Marina could focus on her work and not worry about everyday matters. At first, Marina treated the idea with caution. She honestly said that although she lived alone, she wasn't ready to give up on having a personal life. Anna immediately assured her that if Marina met someone, she would move out without any problems, rent her own place, or find another solution. After long consideration, Marina eventually agreed. There was both convenience in it and a sense of peace of mind about her mother. The family apartment was sold, Anna moved to Valencia, and during the first few months everything truly worked out surprisingly well. They didn't interfere with each other, had dinner together in the evenings, and talked about the news, movies, and life. Marina never once regretted her decision. But soon, Clara began to intrude more and more into their calm routine. She called almost every day, complaining about Daniel, that he wasn't attentive enough, that he was stingy, that he had become a stranger, as she put it. At first, Marina listened in silence, but eventually she couldn't hold back and bluntly told her sister that, in her opinion, Clara simply didn't appreciate what she had. Daniel provided for her, paid for housing, food, and trips, while Clara took no responsibility for anything. Clara took this as a betrayal. She accused Marina of having always been cold and of taking the side of an outsider instead of supporting her own sister. This time, Anna didn't support her younger daughter either. It had finally become easier for her now that Clara was no longer directly dependent on her. The conversations continued in the same vein for several weeks, until one day Clara called with news. She and Daniel had broken up, and she was planning to move in with her mother and sister. Marina responded firmly and without hesitation. She said she had no intention of turning her apartment into a temporary shelter for the entire family. Leaving a boyfriend was Clara's personal choice, but the next step should follow: finding a job, renting her own place, and learning to live an adult, independent life. Marina promised to help financially for a short time, but clearly set her boundaries. Clara was furious. She reminded Marina that the apartment they had sold was a family home and that she now essentially had nowhere to go. She accused Marina of being unfair, insisting that their mother was allowed to live with her while she wasn't. Marina calmly replied that at Clara's age, she had already been living on her own and relying on no one. Anna formally sided with her older daughter, but Marina could feel the struggle beginning inside her mother. Pity for the younger child, guilt, and old habits were gradually taking over. Marina understood that the pressure would increase, but she had no intention of giving in. She knew too well how life without boundaries ended, and she was not ready to carry the entire family on her shoulders again. The story had not yet reached its final conclusion, but Marina knew one thing for certain. Her home had to remain her home, and love and help did not have to mean sacrificing her own life.